Hello everyone, welcome to Artistically Married, where we explore the inner workings of our marriage driven by artistic expression. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman
and Brianne Steinberg.
Okay, well today we have a pretty heavy episode because we were talking about cranes and lifting devices and kind of more just ways that people move things in the past. And that's kind of what it's going to be about. I have basically a history of cranes at the start and when they were invented and kind of how they progressed to modern times. But then at the end, I kind of have some other more fun stories about maybe some mythology, I guess, of how they could have done things. But yeah, so we'll get into it. Bree's under the weather a little bit this week, so
yeah.
Luckily we have a me-focused episode.
Sick as a dog and teaching dance camp, March break dance camp.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try to not talk and or cough.
Yeah. Okay. So really, there's very little information about lifting devices in the past. I guess there's kind of only a few examples of things, and we'll kind of get into those first, and we'll talk about those because as things got into the modern times, obviously more was written down and we have more information. But from the ancient times, there's very little pictures or writing, and there was more talk of their culture and things like that rather than, instructions on how they built things. So a lot of the archaeological record is it really doesn't have a lot of information. And archaeologists, they're not going to make a decision without a lot of evidence. So really all we have are the things that we know for sure. And that's where there's still a lot of mystery involved. So the first lifting device that was created was in ancient Egypt, and it was called the shadoof. And I guess people still use these today. They use them in rural villages for gathering water. So it's like it consists of a long wooden pole that's on a pivot that has a counterweight on one end and then a bucket on the other end. So they'll have this at the edge of a river. The farmer can pull the bucket down into the water, and then on the other side of the pole is a heavy weight, and that basically tips up on the pivot that it's sitting on, and it lifts the water up. And so they would use that for irrigating fields or just collecting water. And that was basically all it did. But right at the beginning, that's kind of basically all a crane is a heavy thing on one end and then a long pole that lifts something on the other side, right? So since then, we've kind of just been building up from there. And again, this is still something that's used today. From the shadoof, then we ended up, they built pyramids in Egypt. And they say that ramps were the main thing that they used. And I guess they're using a ramp as a lifting device. But to me, that's kind of the most obvious thing in the world.
I thought I saw where they lined up trees and they rolled it. Is that what you mean by a ramp?
Well,
I thought the guess was that they were just rolling stuff on.
Yeah, that was part of it. So
it would be almost like a conveyor belt where they would stack a bunch of trees.
So when you're rolling something on the ground and you're laying the blocks onto trees,
right,
you can roll it across there. But now to lift it, to actually get it up, you have to roll it up a ramp.
Okay, gotcha.
Right?
Yeah. So same idea.
Yes. So that's how
you would just stack stuff and then roll it up.
Yes.
That's the guesstimate.
So that's how they guessed they did it.
For approximately what weight would be one block?
Well, exactly. The pyramid has blocks in it that are like 70 tons.
70 tons. What's that compared to an elephant? You know how bad my math is.
Yeah, okay. I was going to try. I was going to get into that later.
Okay.
But so
70 tons. How much is an elephant? I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Actually, yeah, you can look up the weights and then you can chime in on that because I was using other numbers.
What do you mean?
So 1 ton is 2,000 pounds.
Okay.
So a car weighs 3,000 pounds, and if that's like
The average elephant weighs 5 tons.
weighs 5 tons. Okay.
An elephant.
Yeah.
Okay, and one of these blocks is
70 tons.
no. There's no way. There's no way anyone with manpower is pushing this.
So yeah, you imagine a bunch of guys like tugging on ropes that are wrapped around this just enormous stone.
How many?
And you're
100,000 men?
And you're building a ramp out of dirt.
No.
And like, you know, packing it down and
Making
trying
no
to pull
sense.
it up there. Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. And that's why I really don't like the ramp hypothesis. I just feel like they would have had to have some other way of doing it. I would just see too many people, like either it would take way too long or too many people would just die from rocks careening down the ramps. But
well, has anyone seen Star Wars?
Long time ago.
Because I feel like that's a way better hypothesis than a ramp.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
think so.
you know, if you're going to go totally illogical, why not go, you're moving it with your mind?
Yeah, so this is actually something that we're coming to here, which I really thought was hilarious. So, oh yeah, this is actually, I didn't do the timeline. The shadoof is, they say, like 3000 BCE. So this is 3000 before Common Era. That's like 5,000 years ago, right? We had this basic stick on a pole that's like kind of tipping back and forth.
That makes sense,
right?
to get water out of a well.
But then they say ramps are 2600 BCE. So like before that, nobody had considered pushing something up a hill. So it's kind of funny to put that date there.
Yeah.
And then in they say the 1500s BCE, they came up with pulley systems in Mesopotamia. So all a pulley is a wheel with an axle through it. You hang it from something up high and you run your rope through that. And now when you pull, you know,
it takes a lot less power to pull it up. Yeah.
And it takes less power. Yes. So the pulley systems, like they've excavated these, right, and they found them, and they're made out of wood. So that's why we have dates for them. Like again, the archaeologists will just say what they know for sure.
When I was living in Korea, that's how they got all their furniture into their apartments.
Oh yeah,
the good old pulley.
Wow.
I think they would attach it to the house. It would be like a stick that would stick on the top window.
Yeah.
They'd screw it into the concrete brick.
Okay.
There'd be a pulley at the top, and then a base with 4 like attached to the pulley with the ropes on all 4 corners, and they'd put their couches and tables and fridges and stuff, and that's how they would pull them up.
Oh, cool. So yeah.
The elevators were elevators were always like a 2-man elevator.
Too small.
Too small.
Wow. So like,
And this was only like 10 years
ago. How high
ago.
were the buildings? Like skyscrapers?
No, like 10 feet.
Okay.
10-foot apartment buildings.
Okay.
I was in a smaller town, but I saw it in Seoul as well.
Oh, wow.
It was 10 years ago. Yeah, I would say in Seoul, maybe up to 20-story buildings. They were still doing this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it was only like 10 years ago. Well, no, that's probably like 15 years ago now.
Were they like motorized or just by hand?
No, they were doing them by hand. Which is pretty crazy that one or 2 guys can do this.
Yeah.
And carry a couch or a chair or something.
Well, and that's kind of what happened as things progressed. Like,
or a fridge.
Again, it's like hundreds and thousands of years ago, but basically as kind of cranes progress, it all happened pretty fast in the,
I guess the
grand scale of things.
The motorization.
Motorization. Well, another thing, and like this actually happens. We'll get into it. It's the next. Let's see. Yeah, we're in the 1500s. That's when they see, or 1500 BC. So that's 3,500 years ago.
Okay.
That's when they just realized a pulley was there. And yeah, again, mechanical advantage. You have a point up high that you can lift your thing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, so from these pulley systems, they developed Greek cranes. So the Greeks made a crane that was basically 2 pipes that were kind of joined together at the top. They're all stabilized with ropes to keep it kind of up on an angle so you have somewhere to lift from.
Uh-huh.
And then it was just a pulley on the top of that. And then people at the bottom had big wheels, and they would kind of hand crank the wheels, and that would twist your rope up on the winch and lift your thing that you're trying to build.
Right.
This is from Wikipedia, and this is kind of talking about when the Greeks invented the cranes. It says, for the next 200 years, Greek building sites witnessed a sharp reduction in the weights handled. So the weights they're lifting, they made them smaller. But it says, as the new lifting technique made the use of several smaller stones more practical than few larger ones. In contrast to the archaic period with its pattern of ever increasing block sizes, Greek temples to the classical age, like the Parthenon, invariably featured stone blocks weighing less than 15 to 20 tons. Also, the practice of erecting large monolithic columns was abandoned in favor for using several column drums. So this doesn't make any sense to me. They say, now that we have a crane, we're going to lift smaller things because it's way easier than moving these big things, right? But
maybe there was a forgotten technology in there.
Then how did they do that before?
They're trying to still recreate what they had
if
before.
If it's easier using smaller things, wouldn't it just be much easier to carry the small things up a ramp?
You do even bigger things.
Than a 70-ton block?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those columns are so crazy, and maybe there was like a lost technology somewhere in between them. Now that they're doing them in chunks.
Exactly. So yeah, the Greeks, like they built everything out of bricks and blocks, and the blocks were smaller and the bricks were smaller, and they made them small enough that like their newly developed cranes could lift them. But then to me, to say that it was more practical now to use smaller things because you have cranes, that doesn't make any sense. I feel like it's much more practical to use smaller things when you don't have cranes, because how would you get these massive things up a ramp or something like that?
Just found this quote. It was like, give me a place to stand, and with a lever I will move the world.
Yeah.
It was a Greek engineer.
Was it Archimedes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Archimedes, he documented the first block and tackle pulley system.
What does that mean?
So basically, yeah, block and tackle. There's like one at the top, and then that runs through a block at the bottom, and your hook is on the block, which is suspended by the wire. And now that you have a rope going down and then back up,
right,
that like doubles your mechanical advantage.
Like
so now when you pull the rope,
I was just talking about those ski lifts, like a gondola.
Yeah.
No. 2 wheels, two.
No. Well, yeah, kind of.
Like a circuit instead of a one line.
Yeah, but basically still just for a crane, right? So you're pulling one line, but there's 2 lines that one goes down and then back up.
Right.
And so now when you pull, the object only comes up half as much as you pull, but you can lift twice as much as you could before.
Okay.
Basically. So yeah, so then they invented compound pulleys again in Greek, which when you just use a whole bunch more pulleys and you run that rope through a whole bunch more times, this increases your mechanical advantage. And so now when you pull, you pull the rope down 10 feet, your object will only lift up 1 foot, but you can lift up 10 times what you could before.
Okay.
And it was pretty crazy. They said they could get cranes with one person to lift something like 3,500 pounds or something like that.
Nice.
So that's a technological improvement for sure.
Right.
So now they also had these, they called them a tread wheel crane, and these things are crazy looking. So basically it was the same crane I described before, like 2 poles kind of facing up to the top, but then they had like a giant hamster wheel in them. And literally people would walk in the hamster wheel, turning the crank, like probably slaves or something like that.
Is that where the word treadmill came from?
Treadmill, tread wheel? Yeah, maybe.
Because the treadmill came way after.
Yeah.
That's a
now
in the 70s thing where women needed to lose weight.
Now it moves and we run, where it used to be the opposite. We run and the stuff moves.
Right, right. Same concept,
still a great
though.
way to get. I'm sure those guys were strong.
Yeah,
and that technology.
They're like, look at those guys. Maybe we should start running our fat rear ends on a treadmill and get in shape.
Yeah, so the tread wheel was actually used for other things too, where they didn't have like running water for a mill and stuff like that. You literally make a big wheel and you just have people in there like running and turning the crank, which mills the flour.
Don't we have
and
one
stuff.
of those at DQ Falls? Yeah, it was to
we have a water wheel.
Yeah, but
Because there's a stream there. That's why they built that there.
okay.
Yeah, that runs on water.
Okay. Because they were saying like the water level used to be higher so that it would run like through the wheel and make it move. But now when you said that, I was like, maybe there were people running in there. It was to like ground flour or something.
Yeah.
The wheel would go and then it would go this way like a gear and then ground the flour.
Well, when you look at any of our mechanical processes, everything is just a shaft turning, and that does everything.
Right.
So they would use it for maybe a sawmill once you're getting into like industrial wood cutting and
Milling
stuff.
wood.
So you would spin a big saw blade. And
Was there one in the paper mill that you worked at? Long gone.
No. Definitely not. And we didn't process the lumber.
Down to wood chips at that point.
Yeah. Okay. When I was researching this, it kind of only gave me Greek and Roman stuff, but there was actually around the same time period, there was Chinese engineers and carpenters that created their own cranes as well. Very similar looking though, very similar style. Again, it's just a very basic human concept, like pull a rope around a wheel and up goes your stuff, right?
Well, I've seen kids in like kindergarten, when you give them these like basic things, they just figure this out.
They just do it.
Yeah. It just seems obvious.
Which to me, again,
it's like a cantilever.
It's so weird that we have this like, just this ancient past with no answers, basically.
Yeah.
Because again, it seems like such a simple concept. Even the fact that they invented the pulley, did it really take 500 years to realize that you can put two of them side by side and now you can lift more?
Yeah.
Like how long would that have taken? I feel like that would have taken, once you did it, it would have been like overnight.
Yeah.
Oh, what if I do two? Nobody said that.
Can we lift like blocks like that now with our cranes? What's like the max we can lift now with our cranes?
So I actually looked that up. That was coming up later in the episode. Maybe I'll save it for then. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
But we're getting there. Anyway, so this guy was called Liu Ban, and Liu Ban was this legendary Chinese engineer and carpenter, and he's actually credited for a lot of stuff. And he there's actually a festival. It's like Liu Ban Festival, and some people they don't know if he was a real person or not. But he actually, you know those like interlocking wooden puzzles that lock together with no nails or screws, and you take out like one piece and the whole thing falls apart?
Oh, we have a bunch of those.
So they call that Liu Ban lock.
Oh,
so
okay.
He actually invented like these locking style mechanisms and stuff like that. So yeah, he was actually a really cool guy, and he same thing, was credited with inventing like the pulley and wheel and cranes and things like that.
All right.
Where our history typically favors the Roman and Greek side of things.
Oh yeah, that even that alone just boggles my mind, how like technology and innovation happen and then they kind of happen simultaneously, and now we have documentation of it because of the internet. But like back in the day, how did you like send word to the country that's 20 days by ship away to tell them that you figured this out, and then to like put them side by side in terms of a timeline? It all just seems insane to me.
Yeah, exactly. I know. We're just going on everybody's written histories individually.
Right. And now that the internet has all this information in one place.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we're trying to just put it all together. So yeah, then after the Greeks, we had the Romans, and same kind of thing. The Romans just improved on the crane more. Okay, so yeah, this was in the Roman cranes. They did the 5-pulley one that allowed the single worker to lift 3,000 kilograms. And then again, they had the treadwheel cranes, and kind of slow, steady improvements of this technology over time. But again, everything is like manual operation.
Right.
And they invented different kinds. They put cranes on boats. They put cranes along beams. So one of the we use them to build bridges today, and it's called a gantry crane. So basically the crane runs along a beam and its arms stick out and lift in front of it. And so you can run beams along a bridge as you're building it. You keep advancing the beams, you keep advancing the crane, you drop in a new section and continue moving forwards, right?
Yeah.
So these gantry cranes were created in the 14th and 16th century. We have tower cranes, again, were in the 16th century. there was an unfinished Gothic cathedral in Germany, and it still had the crane up on top of the tower, kind of like if we walked into like an abandoned construction site today and we left all the cranes up, because typically you take the construction equipment down when you're done the job.
Right.
So this cathedral was unfinished and it had this tower crane on it. So people were kind of like, oh wow, look, they had cranes, and that was kind of the evidence for that technology at the time.
Okay.
And I think that might still be there, which is pretty cool. But again, so now on the tower, the crane can rotate around, so it has a lot more freedom of movement and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, floating cranes on boats. And then we get into the earlier industrial revolution of the 18th and 19th century. Yeah, let me see. We went to steam-powered cranes. So now when we had railroad power, same thing. Instead of turning the wheel, we're just turning wheels on cranes to lift things. But these cranes, when I looked for pictures of them, they were all like really kind of rickety looking, and probably couldn't do a huge amount of weight, but maybe they had bigger ones. I'm not sure. And then again in the 1840s, William Armstrong invented hydraulic cranes. So we're using water pressure instead of steam power. And that brings us up to where we are today in our modern history of hydraulic cranes. And now we've just made them way bigger and way stronger and way better. But it's the exact same concept of just a wheel at the top and a string that goes around the wheel.
Yeah.
And it lifts up your thing.
Cool.
The world record heaviest load ever lifted by a crane is 20,133 tons.
20,000?
So that is 44,385,000 pounds.
So maybe they just had cranes when they were doing the Pyramid of Giza.
That's kind of, I think it has to be something like that.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to go back to my Star Wars explanation.
Exactly.
People are just moving blocks with their brains.
That's where we're going after this. Is maybe they were moving them with their brains or something like that.
Yeah, Matrix style.
And yeah, so after this, I was actually kind of hoping when I dug into this that there was going to be like a lot more, different mechanisms and things.
No,
but again,
pretty basic.
it was very basic, and we just kind of scaled it up and went bigger. We went through human power and like people running in hamster wheels, and then and now we have to where we are today.
Automation.
Yeah, this was things I learned about cranes when I was working with cranes, because I was an iron worker when I was growing up in my 20s. So when cranes pick things up from the ground, it has to apply the greatest amount of force to the object when it's sitting on the ground at rest. So you would think, oh, this weighs 50 pounds. I need to put like 50 pounds of force on this rope to get it to lift up, right? But because of things like surface tension and stuff like that, like, when you pick up a rock off of the ground, it's stuck to the earth.
Yeah,
right?
that initial force and gravity makes it like the most heavy when it's sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they call that rest. And when the crane picks something up from rest, you'll kind of see like the cables tighten up and they all kind of are wiggling a bit. And then it's just like pulls and pulls and pulls. And it takes so much just to get like these crazy heavy things off the ground. Like I've seen just some insanely large lifts.
I mean, I took like pretty basic physics, but like wasn't that also the object once it's like in acceleration? Like acceleration's the hardest to like apply force to, but then once it's moving, it's easier to keep it moving.
Yeah, that's
I'm trying to remember what that formula is.
Yeah.
It's like mass, velocity, time, maybe?
Yeah. They say that for like fighters too. You always have to be moving, because if you stop, then all of a sudden takes more to start moving again.
That's the hardest to get it moving.
Yeah.
So you're applying triple the amount of force to first get it started.
Just to get it off the ground.
I mean, same with a car, right? You hit the gas pedal. It's like to get it moving.
Slow to get it going.
is the most
Yeah.
amount of force it takes. Like, that's
But
pretty
again,
basic
with the car,
physics.
the car's sitting on bearings. Where, like, again, I'm going back to these just giant ancient stones
Right.
that are sitting on the ground, maybe
Right.
in dirt and in mud. And like when you try and lift up this
Where did the
70 to
stone even
100
come
ton
from?
thing,
Yeah.
like that's just going to be suction to the earth. And what, you're going to get your fingers under there? And
Yeah, maybe it was, I mean, where it was is in sand. Who knows where the rest of them are.
Or
but...
sand, right? Yeah, one of the ways they say the Egyptians did it was they would like pour water on the sand, and apparently that like lubricated it. But again, when you're dealing with something that's like 20 tons or like 50 tons.
The weirder part for me is that they're cut, like the way they're cut into blocks.
That's it too.
Like,
I know.
All the questions.
All the questions.
Yeah.
This, I was just trying to get into the lifting and the, like.
Yeah, how'd they get these things up here?
Yeah,
well,
really,
yeah, like where we're going in Cusco, in Peru, is like just so confusing. All those Inca sites. How'd they get all those blocks there?
That was what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, we're gonna go see Sacsayhuaman in
Sacsayhuaman.
Yeah.
I got to keep trying to practice
Cusco.
saying all these sites, or else I'm going to seem like a really big loser there. This white girl can't speak Spanish nor even say the names right.
Yeah. So Sacsayhuaman is known for these enormous stones. I think they're in like the up to 80 tons or something like that. Just gigantic. And they're all cut and fit perfectly and somehow lifted up mountains to get them there.
Yeah,
And
the elevation that they're moving from is so crazy.
So just how this was accomplished is just mind-blowing to me, and I don't think a good old ramp and maybe some water on the sand is a good explanation for it. And that's why I think we kind of just accept we accept what archaeologists have told us and what we learned in school and stuff like that. Oh, just most of us, when we go through school, you're like, oh, they built the pyramid at this time, and they dragged their rocks up ramps with slaves and stuff like that, and we just go like, oh yeah, okay, and we don't really think about it. But really, the answers are they're really not there. They are just guesses, and they're really not good guesses, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, really, what do you want from people when there aren't any good answers?
Exactly. I guess, we got to write something down, and we got a story, so you can, draw a bunch of slaves and draw a bunch of ropes around a big old rock and just be like, yeah, this will work. And people go like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Again, like the fact that it's, with the city center around it, right? I mean, I think even Cusco, a lot of the sites are just so crazy. How'd they get them up the mountain?
Yeah.
Where'd the rock come from?
They're so big and so vast too. I think Cusco, the rock is more available. I think that is like the bedrock there.
Bedrock, okay.
It is all hard, like volcanic rock, but
yeah, because when we were in Mexico, it was limestone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it
softer.
seemingly a little easier.
Well, a lot easier actually.
To cut the rock.
Yeah.
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 What's Giza made out of? It's like granite, right?
Most of the pyramid is limestone.
Oh.
But it's this special limestone.
In Egypt?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a special limestone that they brought from like 500 kilometers away.
Wow.
Which makes that even crazier.
They just used a ramp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
No.
Use ramps to get over the mountains.
I mean, I was thinking of the rock that's inside it. Those like big, like stones. Those big rock.
Inside the pyramid is granite. Like the king's chamber and the roof stones above it.
All those like pharaoh sites too. Granite, right?
There's a lot of Again, they used a lot of sandstone and limestone.
Okay.
But there are lots of granite artifacts in Egypt.
Right.
And sometimes they'll kind of just stand out and look out of place.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, yes, the whole room or the whole place will be made out of granite. And it's always this old granite stuff, which is the most mind-blowing because you really need proper tools to cut it.
How about the Moai on Rapa Nui?
Yeah, what are those made out of?
And how'd those heads get there?
Well, yeah.
And why so many heads?
Yeah. What cranes were they using?
Yeah. I don't know.
Or was it their mind?
Yeah, I'm like just way more invested in the mind, the Matrix.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. So here's five stories I found that are just pretty fun. Again, they're myths and stories, but this one is cool. This first one, because this is recent. So this story originates from this guy Henry Kielson's writings in the 1930s and 1950s.
Oh, it's not even that long ago.
So he claimed that like his buddy, a Swedish doctor, Dr. Jarl, was invited to a Tibetan monastery where he witnessed monks using sound to levitate large stones.
Wow.
Like he wrote this down.
Come on.
So he said he went there and visited with them and kind of, saw their culture, and he was there for a while and they learned to trust him. So then they kind of started like showing him some of their secrets.
Wow.
So they say the monks placed a large stone in front of a cliff wall. The cliff is about 250 meters high. So a huge cliff.
Yeah.
He said they positioned 19 large drums and 13 long trumpets or horns in a precise arc around the stone.
Wow.
He said the monks chanted and played the instruments, creating a deep resonant sound, and then the stone slowly rose into the air and was guided into place up on the cliff.
Bonkers.
So
that goes back to like our frequency and resonant power podcast.
Yeah. So
wow.
they
can
concluded,
literally move mountains.
Yeah, with like big trumpets, drums, and chanting.
Wow.
And so this was apparently like this guy's friend told him the story after visiting this monastery, and his buddy wrote about it.
Where's it?
And he said,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that was the method that they used to build their temples in these remote locations.
Wow.
And really, if all you needed was musical instruments, then yeah, where are the tools? Where's the evidence? That's always, the archaeological claim. Well, if they had this ancient technology, where is it, right?
Yeah, how did we forget it?
But maybe we have it.
Huh.
Or we had it,
Yeah,
we found their instruments and stuff, and maybe that was it. But obviously, again, this story's been known about for some time, and I think people have tried to they've tried to replicate it and stuff like that. But obviously, I'm sure it's something you have to know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, it has to be exact. Well, I was gonna say in that podcast there we touched on a little bit, but it was like they were using some frequency and like it was like flexing the bridge, like it was about to shatter the bridge or something.
Oh yeah, Tesla's device.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, you can find the resonant frequency of something, and that will cause it to shake and even destroy itself.
Oh.
But and then also like acoustic levitation actually does have merit now. Like people are doing it in labs. They'll use like tones generated and put them in these crossing wave patterns,
right.
And they'll lift like little blocks of styrofoam and stuff like that. But like these speakers are putting out a lot of sound,
right?
Just to lift tiny things.
Still a vibration.
So they're like, yeah, look, we can lift stuff with sound, but it's really not functional.
Yeah.
And we can't lift big stuff. Not like this story. So like this was
You're
saying,
right. It
like,
makes sense that it has to be the precision of the frequency against one another in combination.
And in this story, this cliff is 250 meters high, and it's with a large stone. So I don't know.
This has nothing to do with
Do you
speakers.
have to be aiming it at it perfectly the whole time,
yeah.
or is it just the sound is going to do that? And then how do you guide it?
We've had lots of discussions too, just on like the power of the mind and just, you know, I mean, magic. People are so quick to not talk about magic anymore, and we've put it in this like box of hocus pocus and
oh, totally.
And you know, but I think, you know, when you really believe in something, there is that element of belief system and power of the mind. Maybe that's the part that we've lost.
Definitely.
Even if we could get to the mathematics and we can get to the resonant, the frequency and the angles and the, you know, we're all about all the math and technology, but there might be this missing piece that's just the, you know, psychological power.
Well, and these are Tibetan monks, so like we spend an entire lifetime learning carpentry or learning speech pathology.
Yeah.
Where these guys
just meditate,
right?
They're just strengthening their brain.
They're strengthening the inner workings of their mind.
Yeah.
And maybe that leads to stuff like that. Who really knows? Like, you can't test that as a scientist and just be like, oh yeah, it doesn't work. Well, did you meditate for 60 years in a Tibetan monastery or something? You know?
You could have all the right science but still not have the right like mindset.
Yeah.
That's crazy though, when you do hear testimonies like this, you know, people saying that it's true. I mean, I'm never one to discount anything. I'm always just like, yep, if someone said it's true, I mean, there's a good chance it happened, right, to them. I'm not like a doubter.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Very open-minded.
So again, this one was like written in the 30s and 50s, so it was a very recent thing. Apparently recent Tibetan monks, which is really crazy.
Yeah.
So now my next myth and story is the Egyptian pyramid levitation theory. So this I actually didn't even surprisingly, the amount I've looked at the pyramids, I haven't actually heard this before. Mm-hmm. But it says that there's ancient texts and oral traditions that suggest that the pyramids of Egypt were built using a lost levitation technique. So the Greek historian Herodotus, he wrote that Egyptian priests spoke of using magic words and unknown tools to move giant stones. So I had never really heard this before, and this is coming from like the Greek myths about Egypt. And so the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, it contains carvings that some interpret as electric devices or sonic tools. And some theorists propose that the pyramid builders knew how to neutralize gravity using sound or electromagnetic forces.
Wow.
So again, that's interesting. This is all speculation, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's what we have to do, because I think
the
it's
speculation
much better than
that
pushing giant stones up ramps.
Yeah, 100%. I would rather speculation that like involves, you know, clairvoyancy and levitation rather than, you know, science that there's no way.
Yeah.
There's not a chance. Like you just might as well say we don't know.
Well, yeah, it's just too heavy.
It's too heavy and too far and too high.
You would just imagine like what we try to do like in our daily lives, and you know, move a couch or something.
Yeah,
and
throw your back
that's
out.
Nothing,
I
right?
know, yeah.
And now we're like, oh yeah, this stone that weighs. So yeah, some of the stones weigh up to like 100 tons, and I looked up an average house weighs 50,000 to 100,000 pounds.
Wow.
And wait, where were my measurements? What was 100 tons? 100 tons was basically like 2 houses, I think.
Okay.
And that's going on like the higher end of the estimate.
Right.
So yeah, you have a rock that like weighs as much as 2 houses, foundation walls, everything, right?
So crazy.
And you're just going to wrap some ropes around it. Pull it up a ramp.
Don't think so.
With you and your buddies. So yeah. All right, next one we got is Coral Castle. This I wanted to go see when we were down in Florida. This is still there. This was built, I don't have the exact date, but in the early 20th century. So this guy, Edward Leedskalnin, he was a Latvian immigrant. He built Coral Castle in Florida. And again, it's like his castle is a park that you can go visit. It's all made out of coral, which is like an easier to cut rock. right? That's kind of porous.
Right.
But some of the blocks on this site weigh up to 30 tons. And this guy worked at night in secrecy.
What? Why?
To build this whole
Why
thing.
in secrecy?
Because he knew how to do this by himself.
Right.
And he didn't want to show anybody else. And so when he was asked...
It was built in 1923 to 1951. Took him 30 years.
Yeah. You see pictures of it there?
No.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so Coral Castle is super cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of... it has this weird vibe to it too. There's like carvings of planets and stars and things like that. He had this weird they called it like a magnetic flywheel, and it looked like it was made out of parts of an engine. And it had like magnets and facing different polarities and stuff like that, so you could spin it. So guys have kind of re-engineered this flywheel in their garage to kind of see what they can do with it.
Yeah.
But again, nobody's been able to
crack the code.
Yeah, and figure out what it was. He also had he published books. I actually had one of his books. I think I lost it in the flood.
Oof, the great flood.
It was a small little pamphlet.
Right.
But he basically said there is no gravity and everything is magnetism. That was his theory. So he was like, I've heard some stuff like that. You understand magnetism, then you can do anything, right?
Yeah.
And so
all you got to do is oppose the force, and then it'll push against, instead of it being super heavy, because the gravity right now is or like the polarity or the magnetism, which we call gravity, is pulling, negative to plus.
Yep.
As soon as you can, because I've seen like those railways that function on the same type of thing. As soon as you repel it, all of a sudden it becomes light as air because the magnet force is so strong.
Yeah.
I think it's really, we have a lot of discussions in this house about, the off the beaten path, or like conspiracy theories, if you want to call them that. I think we end up being like, well, they're probably true, just, people haven't accepted them yet. But regardless, I think it's, for me, it's not really necessarily about like how something comes to be or how something gets created. I think the why and why not, or why, I think it's I don't know, think of another word for it except for sad, that people that are either, possessing these like magical powers either feel possessive about them, they don't want to share them, they don't want to pass them down, but more likely these scenarios operating in secrecy is like they're afraid. Like we talk about this all the time, people having patents or having abilities or having, ways of doing things, and they're afraid that they're going to get offed. Like we're not talking about, getting a fine or whatever. Like it's so crazy that it's human nature that like any of these possibly, crazy innovations were like hidden underground because people are afraid to show their magic or afraid to show their abilities or their science or their patent, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Whether it's mystical or not mystical, it doesn't matter. I think they go underground because they're afraid.
Yeah.
Of people not being able to. What is it? It's just human jealousy. It's the same reason why these archaeologists are being like, nope, this is how it was. Like, this is absolutely how it was, because there's no way that I don't understand something. I have to understand everything. I'm so smart.
Yeah.
So
it's pride.
It just frustrates me that we hear stories like this, and then they, these people are underground because what? Like, because we'll kill them. We'll kill them or we'll steal it. Like, humans will find a way to either,
So another reason, and this is like something that like why we have secret societies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
Freemasons or whatever. Yeah.
So they believe that they're keepers of the secret knowledge.
Right.
And that this is actually powerful stuff. So if you just give it away to everybody, then like they're like, you're putting this power in the hands of like people who don't know what they're doing,
and they could abuse it, and they could use it incorrectly,
right? Like you're not going to give like
it still all is operating
nuclear weapons to a child or something like that, right?
Even on a minor level, we don't give knives to our kids. So that's like, my kid wants to cut something and I'm like, no, I don't trust you with it.
Yeah. So that's apparently one of the reasons why like this stuff ends up happening like that, but then eventually it gets lost because this secret society
They're so
fizzles out
secret.
or whatever.
Yeah, all those people die and then it goes with them.
And like, unfortunately, that was the same with this guy. So this Edward Leedskalnin guy, he lived by himself.
The coral guy?
Yeah. He said he was always like, he was waiting for his sweet 16. That's what he was talking about. And nobody knew what it meant. And he just thought, oh, he's just like, he's waiting for his girlfriend or something like that. He's apparently like a very nice guy.
Yeah.
And so he built the castle somewhere. He got like looted by people or like kids or something like that. And they beat him up and took his stuff or something.
What?
So then he was like, I'm out of here. I'm moving. And he moved the entire castle to another place, stone by stone. So he hired a truck and like, again, super secretive. He'd be like, leave the truck here. And they'd be like, oh, do you want like a forklift or something like that to load your truck up? He's like, no, I got it. Then he's like, you could just
magnets.
go down, go down to the river or whatever, and I'll load the truck up, come back in 30 minutes and it'll be done, right?
Wow.
And then he'd come back and like the truck driver would look around. And this guy was like less than 100 pounds, this tiny little scrawny guy. And the truck would be loaded like full of these stone blocks. And so people were just like, how did you do that?
He's
right?
from Latvia?
He was Latvian. And when asked, like he said he knew the secret of how the pyramids were built.
Oh, crazy.
He said that, and everyone was just like, this guy's crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
But he literally built a castle with out of huge stone blocks, right?
And moved it.
So I would say this guy knows how the pyramids were built more than most people.
Anybody
right?
else, yeah.
He actually did it.
Was there any stories like in Latvia of buildings being built?
Oh, that I don't know. And even his family history and stuff like that, I'm not 100% sure about. Like that was, but he was like, he was kind of a loner when he was here, but he published books in English, on his theories and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one ever saw how he moved it, and yet they were perfectly placed. The originally it had this big door, which was like, it had like a pin in the middle, and it was kind of like a revolving door. So, you push one side and the other side swings towards you. And it weighed like, I don't know, 10 tons or something like that. And then after he died, and it was just like a tourist attraction. The door.
Oh, so you can go there now.
You can go there now. That's what, I wanted to go there when we were in Florida, but it was like 4 hours away.
Yeah.
So the door broke, and then to fix it, it took like cranes and like a whole bunch of other workers to like get this door, reset it in place, and then it never worked as good as it did from when he had done it.
Wow. Yeah, I was just reading up. It says that there's no other folklore in like Latvian culture that necessarily talk about like the ability to move, specifically this, but he might have just been using like what was around him, what was on his property when he bought whatever. But they do talk a lot about there being like specific mysticism and ancient knowledge and manipulation of natural forces in Latvian culture.
Very cool.
But that, I mean, I've heard a lot of stories like that throughout. Where is Mesopotamia? I was thinking like Scandinavian countries, right? That's all own that area. Scandinavia?
No,
or is that
Mesopotamia
Finland?
is like
Mesopotamia. I always say that wrong.
Yeah. That's like
where is
Turkey,
Mesopotamia? Yeah, okay.
Turkey and Jordan.
Isn't Latvia
and
in that
stuff.
area?
Latvia? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know where that is.
We need Phoenix.
Yeah.
Get our 5-year-old. He's the geography whiz. Cool. So yeah, it talks about there being numerous mystery structures like Stonehenge and the pyramids, Moai, that are similar to this. He gets grouped in with those megalithic structures.
Yeah, which is wild because he did it in the 1920s.
Yeah, in Florida.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And it's funny too. It just, people,
and he's getting linked in with pyramids and Moai.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. People minding their own business, oh, this crazy Latvian guy over there. And he just like, And
so
again,
nuts.
the secrecy thing is funny. So it was actually a pretty big mystery, and there's a bunch of people that are just like, I know how he did it. He just made tripods, and he was moving tripods around and just hoisting stuff on pulleys, but just the size of the stones and stuff, and he cut them himself and moved them himself.
Not to mention, like you said, like all that stuff would be around. It's not like go and look at some buildings that are being built in Toronto or Niagara Falls right now. It's very obvious.
If you walk past his house and he has a crane,
humongous. Like they're not hidden tools.
Yeah,
they're very obvious.
Yeah.
So people would have those recollections, or they'd have, pictures where those things were in it.
And they said too, they were like, there was evidence of pulleys and stuff like that. And like, yeah, of course, like, these are usable tools, and you're gonna use these to build. Right. But the whole construction project for one single guy is like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. They say there's nothing like it. It's just one guy.
All right, so this next mystery is pretty interesting too. This one's called the Floating Stones of India, and let me see. So this is in a couple places, and it says in Shivapur, India, a sacred rock weighing 90 kilograms. So that's not a lot. It's like 200 pounds, but it reportedly levitates when 11 men chant the name of a Sufi saint.
Wow.
Kamar Ali Darvish. So witnesses claim the stone rises off the ground and moves without any visible force. And this phenomenon has been documented at several temples in India where stones float when specific mantras or prayers are recited.
Wow.
So this apparently what gives it credit is there's a lot of people that go to these temples, and there's a lot of people that see this happen.
Right.
And the phenomenon's tied to, again, like ancient beliefs and sound vibration and spiritual power.
Is there video footage of it?
That I actually didn't get to.
Huh.
Maybe.
YouTube, here I come.
But this was also something that I was kind of thinking. It's
happening right now? Like you can go there now?
I think so. Yeah, I think this was still happening.
Okay.
At some of these Indian temples. But what I was also thinking though was there's stories of back in the day, like ancient churches and stuff like that. They would kind of do like magic shows, and people didn't know what was going on, and they would blame it on like, oh, it's the power of God. Look, he like did this magic thing. So whatever they were, basically magic tricks, right?
Right.
And it would kind of trick people to be like, wow, look at the power of God or something. So I was like, I don't know if maybe that's built into these temples or something like that, that there's maybe, again, there's a magnet in it, and they turn on the magnet or something.
Yeah.
So it could be something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that I didn't get.
Sometimes there's like specific times and stuff too, or it could be like a tidal shift, or it could be like a moon or a sun. There's a lot of like Bermuda Triangle type of stories in the world where
that's true.
There's a certain time period, and a lot of times these like chanting rituals or spiritual things will be around like a solstice, or around like a specific timing where like there could be like a scientific phenomena happening. Yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea. And even again, I didn't get more.
Is it like I don't know, I've never heard of these I've never heard of the floating stones, but there's like that place between India and Sri Lanka, like it maybe used to be land and now the water level's risen. They call it like the Magic Bridge or something. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
No,
this is a different thing. Okay.
Because there's like a bridge between, I remember reading about that. There's like a bridge between India and Sri Lanka, and I think they say that like the rocks move there. But I think that was just like a environmental phenomenon. It didn't have anything to do with like a human intervention.
Yeah. Okay.
Humans weren't trying to do it. It was just happening by itself. So look at a magic bridge between India and Sri Lanka.
The next one is the Mayan whistling towers and sonic manipulation. So the ancient Mayan civilization built many temples and pyramids with unique acoustics. So some believe they may have been used to move stones with sound waves in a similar way to the Tibetan monks. So the whistling towers at Chichen Itza, which we went to.
Yeah.
And Uxmal, which was another, or forget how to say the X. Was it
Yep.
Uxmal?
Yep.
But yeah, that was another complex that we didn't go to, but it creates a bizarre sound effect when clapped or spoken into. And we actually didn't know about that when we went there.
Wasn't that in the ball court when they were...
They were doing that there too.
Okay.
But if you stand in front of the Chichen Itza pyramid stairs and you clap, it sounds like birds.
Yeah.
But then if you go like just beside the stairs on like the big steps of the pyramid, you don't hear anything.
Huh.
But when you're right at the steps, you hear like this bird sound. So they some people think that was intentional and that
they use that to lift the blocks.
Or who knows, right? But it just says that effect kind of hints at their understanding of acoustics.
Right.
And it also says the Mayans built perfectly tuned resonant chambers inside their temples. So when you go into the temple and you find the frequency of the room, it has this like, perfect resonance built into it.
Right.
Rather than just kind of like a scattered, discorded resonance.
Right. Yeah, who knows, chicken or the egg, whether it was intentional or it was just accidental because it's a perfect shape.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Yeah, that's it's geometry, and you have to have an understanding
acoustics
of that.
and geometry, but
or,
whether
or
it was
is
intentional,
a happy accident, exactly.
Yeah,
But
who knows?
But who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, then one thing, the ancient Mayan texts describe chanting rituals linked to the movement of objects.
Right.
So again, when this is in like the ancient writings, and I'm like, okay, maybe there was something to this, right?
Right.
Because we can sit and we can clap in front of the stairs and, oh, it sounds cool. But, it kind of does that when you're in front of a brick wall. Like, when you clap, you get this weird echo off the wall, right? Well,
and again, unless you're being taught or trained, like, what it means or what it's doing, you're just like, ooh, sounds cool, you know? Like,
cool.
Cool sound, yeah. And I mean, now, like, think of the power of music. It doesn't have to be moving literal bricks or blocks, but like think of the power that music has in your brain, that if you just take that into like a literal sense, like why not, why couldn't it? And then you add the power of the actual brain into like some of those belief systems, and all of these seem far more realistic to me than any of the other explanations that we've gotten.
I think so. Especially ancient India. Ancient India is amazing, and it's actually something that we don't really see that often. And I feel like it's just because of the amount that's there. Yeah. But there is just incredible temples in India. There is so much
honestly,
bizarre
I haven't really heard a lot about it.
We hear so much about, the pyramids and the Mayan pyramids and things like that.
Yeah.
And obviously like the Greek Colosseum, and then like the stuff in Rome and Italy and all of that.
Yeah, lots of stuff in Europe.
But we don't really get a lot from India, and there is just incredible stone temples in India that are just like mind-blowingly intricate and just amazing. I've showed you the one, Kailasa, which is literally carved out of the bedrock. The entire temple is one piece of stone, and it was carved from the tip all the way down. And
that still makes more sense to me than the lifting and stacking.
You would think, but the amount of stone that had to be removed to create this like full-size gigantic church temple, and you can see like the square of the mountain that's carved out of it.
Right.
You can go walk in it. There's interiors, like there's exteriors, there's courtyards around it, and all of this is just excavated in the bedrock, and there's no rubble to be found around it.
Isn't there one too in Vietnam?
So it's like it would have been like millions of tons of rock were excavated to create that temple, and it's nowhere to be seen.
Oh, like the actual rock they took out
Yeah, like you think there would just be mountains of rubble.
to carve it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
where'd the rocks go? I mean,
But
water glacier
gone.
or whatever.
Well, you could have taken it far away, or maybe you were like taking it out in
The
nice
elements
chunks and
could
using
have-
that stone somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like maybe that was the quarry and then that was left over with, but who knows? It's the temple itself is mind blowing. The way it's carved, there's all on the bottom level of the temple is all carved into elephants, so it looks like the temple is like floating on top of elephants.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, really cool.
I was looking for, I thought there was one in Vietnam that was really cool too. It was carved out.
Vietnam, yeah, which one's there? Oh, I forget the name.
Yeah. They'll come to us.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, this is my last fun story. This one is ancient Vimana and the flying stones of India again. So this is ancient Hindu scriptures. There's the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. They describe Vimanas, which are these mythical flying machines said to operate using vibrational energy or mercury vortex engines. And I don't know how they get the term
Mercury vortex engine.
I don't know how they get mercury vortex engine out of ancient technology, but maybe it's translated well enough through the years that that's literally what it says.
Right.
Some theories suggest that this same technology was used to move massive stones. So yeah, the Vimanas were literally like flying machines. They said there was like wars in the sky of these like flying machines, right?
What?
Using mercury engines.
Wow.
So this one is a hard name to pronounce, but another 11th century Sanskrit text describes machines that defy gravity. So yeah, it wasn't even like propulsion, it was like gravity defying.
Defying gravity, you say?
Yeah.
I just finished, I'm by the time you guys hear this, we'll be done. We're doing a wicked March break camp.
Oh yeah.
All we've done is talk about defying gravity. Flying witches, though, not flying stones or,
So, some claim that the Ajanta and Ellora caves in India were carved using levitation techniques.
Ah.
So Ellora caves, I think, is the complex where that Kailasa temple is.
Okay.
So, again, just to see the pictures of this thing are unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll have to look them up.
Yep. And yeah, ancient texts describe machines using sound. Mercury powered devices have been found in ancient temples, which is interesting as well. The Indian government has classified research on Vimana technology. So
Give it to us.
They have it and they're keeping it for themselves.
Yeah.
But who knows? That one's really crazy because the Hindu mythology is really old.
Yeah.
And it's something that we just really don't know about. And there's so much of it.
There is so much of it.
Fascinating to me.
Yeah. And obviously different time periods too. Like you see ones that are, bigger and smaller and different shapes. And yeah, it is really cool. Stone period is like a building we've always been really fascinated with.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Build a stone. It's forever.
Yeah.
Jake's dream house is a round turret stone. A stone building.
Yeah, I would like a stone building for
round
sure.
Turret on the top.
I think I don't know if I said that before, but I think it's funny that we call it like the Stone Age, like, oh, it's primitive, but I'm like the Stone Age is like the pinnacle of building technology.
Yeah, it should be the Stone
That is
era.
the most difficult material to work with.
Yeah.
It's hard, it's brittle, it's extremely heavy.
It's hard to work with, but yeah, I mean, it lasts forever. So
But
which one do you
when
want?
you
You want
figure
your
out-
house to last forever? I mean,
Well,
your
that's
house
it.
is going to outlive
We
you,
don't
so it's a
build with
nice
stone.
legacy. Yeah.
We build with concrete.
Yeah, right.
We just
Even-
pour
our
it into
bricks are
place,
just- yeah.
and it doesn't have the same strength that true stone does.
Right. Well, yeah, you kind of need the joints, right? Where like they build with concrete now, and all the joints are so weak.
Yeah.
The joints kind of take the vibration if they're like cut
Yeah.
and stacked properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it feels like we're going on a pilgrimage where we keep joking about our 5-year-old, like what's left for him. He's going to do 2 World Heritage Sites.
Well, the 7 wonders.
Oh, 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah, because
he's going to do 2 in the same year.
We did Chichen Itza. And now
we're doing Machu Picchu.
Yeah, going to go to Machu Picchu.
In April, yeah. Do we want to tell them all about the drone stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are also trying to bring you guys some video. We've discussed about kind of bringing video into a video element into our podcast, but decided we like the audio.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it audio.
For now, anyways.
But yeah, we're really excited because we got a drone and we're obviously getting more into traveling, and we're going to bring you guys some travel vlogging, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So we've tried to link it. It's attached to our YouTube. I can put it in the comments underneath our podcast.
I've tried it just on my phone, and it's really easy to find. Just search Artistically Married on YouTube, and then our channel comes up. We only have 1 video right now.
Yeah.
We did a nice little video on Black Creek in the wintertime. Mm-hmm. And really, it came out of our test flight of really figuring out how this thing works.
How to work the drone, yeah. Yeah,
and,
so if you guys like it, definitely leave us a comment. Let us know if there's some stuff that you would like to see, especially we're from Niagara Falls, so if you guys have anything in Niagara that you'd like to see from the aerial shots, then yeah, let us know and we'll bring it to you. Yeah,
definitely. I wanted to say that, and you can leave comments on the episodes. I think in some of the Spotify, or can you in Spotify? I think you can.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some polls going on there too.
Yeah,
check out our polls.
Check out the polls. Leave a comment in the episodes if you have something to add to it.
Let us know what you like.
And we will probably, we can feature it on the show like the next time if we get some good information from somebody, or we have a topic that we want to discuss. Like we can bring that up in the podcast for sure.
We'd love to hear from you guys.
You can send us an email too at artisticallymarried@gmail.com if you want to get a hold of us that way, or again, questions, comments.
Yeah. And don't forget to follow us on Spotify. We're now on Apple Podcasts. We're on Amazon Music, and where you find all your major podcasts. Yeah. We'll be back next week with a healthier host.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, and you'll never miss a podcast.
Yeah.